I wrote, jump on board for Birds of a Feather 97. This is an issue, and it has a cover. The cover is by Jeremy Ordinary. It reminded me that I once did a bit of graffiti. Don't tell anyone this, but when I was 15, I carved, Peter K was here on a desk at school, because I liked the idea that someone would see it and think Peter K had actually been there when he hadn't. There is a bit of graffiti on a bus stop near me that says Nazi punks fuck off, which is a reference to the dead Kennedys. And I am worried if the police ever were to investigate who did that, they might eye me as the culprit. I didn't do it, I swear. I don't think there are any Nazi punks in the area. I wouldn't waste me time writing it. This is the second part of a very flimsy story. The Birds of a Feather and a group of villains have both come calling on Janice Ian, the teen with mystical abilities. This is written by Gail Simone, professional idiot Gail Simone. And straight away, I want to blast something. We have two groups of characters, and they are fucking stood watching. They're not doing anything. They are watching Janice Ian and Canary. Gail Simone has written a lot of teen books. There's this. There is Sacred Sinks. Didn't she do some Justice League? Even her solo books like Dominoes, or before that, Dead Pills, they end up teen books a lot of the time. She cannot write teams. You can see that here. She has... I called her an idiot before. I will call her a dog now. I think that might be misconstrued. What I mean is she has the mental capacity of a dog. Not having a go at her looks. It would be easy if I wanted to have a go at her looks. But I mean, she has the focus of a dog. She can only conceive what is in front of her, or what is going on directly in front of her. Here, we have 7 or 8 characters standing around, not doing anything, while one lynches another. It is tremendously bad writing. It does truly display either how little thought is put into, or how unconscious Gail Simone is of her writing. Obviously, one of these static characters does something, only one of them though. Lady Blacker, the rest continue to stand around and watch and do nothing. And Canary eventually just frees herself anyway. Humongous levels of weak writing. Now that we have resolved the critical action element, a lot of the remainder of the issue is the characters standing around and noisily talking at each other. I have dissed Gail Simone enough, but now it's time to actually talk about something you maybe didn't know. Gail Simone retired from comics. No, really, she did. 3 years ago, She quietly retired from comics. I won't speculate as to why. I have my ideas, but they are irrelevant. Gail Simone packed it in and moved on. For all the shit I might throw at her or her work, I respect that. I respect her decision. I respect how she went about it. I respect that, unlike many others, she was willing to move on. Gail Simone is writing excellent men now. You want to know what happens? The most pathetic thing around. Tom Beevort moved over to being editor of the Excellent Men books. He decided to ring up Gail Simone, who was retired, and just handed her the main Excellent Men title. No pitch, no ideas. She was handed the book because she is part of Tom Beevort's circle. She unretired because another man is so resistant to change and moving on that he can only get the same people from 20 years ago to write books. And any respect I had for Gail Simone is immediately vanished because she said yes. She didn't come to any realisation. She didn't have any resolution. She retired, but in those 3 years did not learn anything. She was never moving on. She was pretending she was moving on as an excuse to cope with her lack of work in the industry or whatever. I think people might look at me and think I am preaching hypocrisy because as much as I advocate for moving on and letting things go, I myself have clearly not moved on from comics, and I dwell on the same people from 20 years ago. For example, Kurt Busey. Kurt Busey is nothing right now. At most, he will be writing some astro shitty once in a blue moon, but he is almost irrelevant to current mainstream comics. I have moved on from comics as I moved on from stand-up comedy, as I moved on from my failed careers in radio and TV, because I was neither content or finding success with those things. I don't read modern comics, at least Marvel ones, and often there are comments from people like A. Pilgrim or Jerry B telling me about all these new Marvel stories where Smurf from the Excellent Men is genocidal. And I feel mean and harsh saying, I don't care. But I don't. What is happening in comics with the characters and stories, I don't care. It's not Marvel to me. There might be a really good story, but I won't read it because I have moved on from the idea of there being good Marvel comics. I am content with what I have. And I am not like, I don't consider it the way Kurt Busey or Tom Beevor, they couldn't move on from the comics from the 70s. I am aware that what comics are now is not what I want, and so I turned my back on them. This is hypothetical. I am not proposing this would ever happen ever, but like if Marvel came to me and offered me Captain America, or they wanted me to write an Andy book or something, I would say no. I really do not care about modern comics. I don't want to be part of modern comics. Captain America stopped being Captain America. And that is fine because I'm happy with what I have. I would love if Captain America comics were good again. I'd love if Spider-Man comics were good again. But it is a racehorse I consider too worn out to ride. I cannot rely on it. I am far less reluctant to engage with DC. I could even get that new Justice Society of Superheroes comic, but I doubt it. I'll check it out, but I won't buy it. I have moved on. I accept that I am forever to live in a world where comics stopped being what I liked a while ago. The other thing is, turning back the clock, restoring things, undoing things, it's not the solution. That is exactly what led me to stop reading comics. People ignoring stories from the 80s and the 90s, or even just a few months ago, written by their colleagues, because they don't care. They stopped enjoying comics. They stopped reading comics in the 70s. The solution isn't to go back, it's to go forward. You can't take stuff away and presume to go forward. You can't get rid of Spider-Man's marriage or bring Barney Allen back as the main Flask and then still claim you're moving forward. The forward they have made for themselves is not good. It's built on people unable to move forward. And overall, this version of comics we have now, it's not for me. But I am willing to say my time has passed. I can let it go. Unlike Gail Simone, who even back then was trying to tease at and cheat her way around having a redhead Batgirl back in action, this is Misfit. She is a fangirl. A self-insert, possibly. She goes nowhere. And Misfit is another name I'll put in the same category as Leviathan and Nemesis and Giganto. Don't call your comic character Misfit. As for the writers and the creators, Tom Beavorth, Kurt Busey, Martin Quaid, John Jeffries, all the same names that are it, Michael Bryan Benson, etc. It is the case that these people were very important and very destructive to the comics that I do still consider. They were the stepping stones towards me eventually abandoning the ship completely. And Gail Simone, I would consider her main problems that she is not very smart and that she is a gigantic hypocrite. Some of her writing can be tolerable. Something like this is dumb and flawed, but it's not even as annoying as the first part of it. I would still say it is not very good, but I would have to be in a really sour mood to call it bad. It is below average. That is what I would call it. Here are the best parts of the issue. First, we have Lady Blackhat. She gets in a fighter jet. This is, it's a character thing. It goes with her history and her background. It is a fun, satisfying little thing to have happen. They have relocated the battle to a hangar. I should say that. And then the rest is about letting go. Oh, the irony. Janice Ian has to let go of her dead mum, and that stuff is fine, and her dad is written quite rational. I think after this is a one-shot, Janice Ian's one-shot, also by Gail Simone, and then she appears some more in future Birds of a Feather. I mostly know her from non-Gail Simone stuff. What might be my two biggest criticisms of this issue are on the last page. First, we have some of what I consider Kurt Busey's style writing, narration mixed with dialogue in a manner where it is nigh unreadable. We have Janice Ian's narration. It is in the form of her diary entries, and that is a continuing stream of consciousness. It is broken up by dialogue, and the two are not really connected. It is just two scripts going on at once, interrupting each other. It is unnatural, and it reads abominably. Second criticism is that the end is she spray paints on the dating sign, telling the heroes and villains to stay out. And that would be a decent little ending bit, but, well, it's on the gosh darn cover. Imagine if they had put Luke Skywalker burning Darth Vader's body on the poster for Return of the Jedi. In conclusion, I don't respect Gail Simone. I nearly did, but it was a sham. I'll give this 7 thumbs up though, and I hope you can respect that. And if you don't, I hope that you can move on. The good Captain America stories have had their time. Let other people have their bad Captain America stories now.